Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys so much for joining me yet again. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and become a part of our opinionated family. And if you've been here 3 or 4 times, welcome back. Please don't hesitate to share the video and hit that notification bell. I'm going to be reviewing for you guys here every single week. Now we're reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 1. Child, Lifetime said we've been in quarantine and y'all gonna get this 3 hours, okay? I don't care if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, Pacific Time, Central Standard. Y'all gonna stay up to watch these 3 hours. All right, let's get into it. The first couple that we're introduced to when the scene first opens up is Vincent and Brianna. Brianna is a 28-year-old engineer, and she is very poised, very put together. She likes order. She likes things done in a specific way. And I think that my first impression of her was that she is her job. You know how certain people, they just fit the role of what they do professionally? And that's kind of the vibe that she's giving me. And as they're going through the scene and they're showing a little bit more about her and she's talking, she says that she wants her man to make more money than her. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I can understand that. But I mean, it is 2020 when they were filming. While they were filming, it was 2020. And I was like, nowadays we're on equal footing. Or, majority of the time, the women are making a little bit more. So hopefully that doesn't put a strain on her new marriage. Because then we meet Vincent, and he's also 28, and he's a legacy broker. I'm not sure what a legacy broker is. In my mind, I saw him standing next to a car, so I feel like he's a car salesman. That's just me, or a car broker. And he's kind of giving me that Rashid vibe with the whole car thing from Ready to Love. And a little bit about Vincent. He wants to be a great dad because he lacked that growing up. And he was telling us a little bit about his last relationship and that it ended because he didn't have a corporate job. And immediately when I heard that, I was thinking, okay, Brianna wants her man to make more than she does. And I know as an engineer, she's making at least 6 figures. So will that be a deal breaker for the two of them? And he was saying how there was a lack of support on the lady's end when he was with her. So he decided to end it. And I was just thinking, okay, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. And he also said another thing. He said, I don't like a super serious person. And I was like, okay, cut to the scene where Brianna just told us 5 seconds ago that she's very serious. And because she goes to construction sites and structurally everything has to be put together in order for things to work. And she also said that she doesn't open up easily or show affection easily. And it seems like he's more of a fun-loving, affectionate guy that wants the whole family unit and wants someone that's a little bit more laid back. So we will see how that plays out. But for now, they seem like they could potentially be a match, but the both of them are going to have to bend just a little bit. Then we go over and see Virginia. She's 26. She has a customer service job, and she is so used to the party lifestyle. She wants to live her best Jersey Shore life, okay? She wants a husband, but she also want to keep doing her own thing. And I mean, once y'all hear about Erik, you tell me if she's going to be able to do her own thing in this marriage, because it don't seem like it. So she said that she was a child of divorce and she really didn't like that. And she has abandonment issues. She's been single for 5 years and she's talking on the phone with her dad and she's telling him about the whole process. And she said her dad doesn't really like the process and she's talking to him about it. And, he's not too keen on it. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to make it because I just don't feel like this is the right choice for you. And she didn't really like that, but at the same time, she had to respect it. Then we see Erik, who's 34, who's a pilot. And his tagline is flying solo. Okay, so he said he was a pilot in the Air Force Reserve for years. And his biggest fear was like growing old and alone. And then you see him, he's talking to his mom. He seems real conservative. As we're talking more about this, as I'm going through the review, you guys will hear a little bit more about why I say I think he's super conservative. But the thing about him is he's been divorced before. And that was due to him always being deployed. So the Air Force had him gone a lot of the time, and then things just started falling apart. And I used to be married to someone who was in the military, so I can understand how that can affect your relationship. But he says he wants a down-to-earth girl that can handle his lifestyle, and his biggest fear is growing old alone, and he fears another divorce. So the thing that matches these two is the fact that she didn't like being a product of divorce, and he fears divorce. So maybe the experts decided, okay, the mutual thing that they have in common is that divorce is a no-no. So hopefully they can balance each other out. But judging from some of the things that Virginia says, I don't see no balancing being able to be going on. Okay? I feel like she going to be tired of him because he's boring and he doesn't want to go out and do what she wants to do. He's going to be upset because she's always going out. And then there's going to be the possibility of those two not making it in the end. But that's just my assessment and just my opinion based on the first episode. Child, I don't know nothing. You know, these shows, they have twists and turns all up and through, so things could quickly take a turn, but we shall see. You guys comment down below and tell me what you think may happen. Then we go over and we see the next couple, Paige and Chris. Paige is 26 and, okay. Paige is 26, child. And child, Paige got that wig on and that wig is combed over. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. If you cannot get a wig that has a part for you to part it, then you don't need that wig. Because that hair, you done took that comb and just combed that hair over every which way, however you felt. It's giving real toupee at the top. So I'm going to need you to get something together with that hair. Because, you know, this dude they done paired you up with thinks he's the best looking thing in the whole wide world. So I'm sure he's going to be picking you apart physically. And that wig has got to go. Okay, so Paige is an accountant and a realtor, and she really wants kids. She's very into God. She's God-fearing. She mentions God a lot throughout her scenes, and she says that her match must be God-fearing and want children. And her friend brought up a good point. She said there is a big difference between loving God and being God-fearing, and it is, because when you are God-fearing, you do the right things in fear of the consequences that come when you disobey God. And then when you love God, but you still get it popping. Okay, so that's the difference. Chris is 27 and he's a finance manager and he owns a restaurant. So Chris comes on the scene. Child, Chris gonna wear us out. I can already tell. Chris is going to wear us out. He wants a wife. He wants a maximum of 7 kids. Boy, who you think giving you 7 kids? Huh? You know how hard it is to have a baby? All kind of technical difficulties can happen with your whatnots. And then you got to go to all these doctor's appointments. People be poking and prodding you. You're all big and stretched out of shape. You're uncomfortable. 7 whole times you want her body to go through that? Child, that was the old days. People don't be having 7 children anymore. I know that's what you think makes sense, but it's not. And one thing that stood out about Chris to me, Chris said he used to be a pastor, but he wasn't making no money. Money. All they really want to see is the money. Okay? He said he wasn't making no money. So he pulled a Cardi B and he was like, the money is not adding up, so I got to go. And I'm like, okay, if you were a pastor and you decided to leave because the money wasn't there, then did you ever really want to be a pastor? Was that really your calling? Because this is what makes people afraid of the church, because they feel like the pastors are only out for money. Then you had this young kid here saying, I thought I wanted to be a pastor because I'm thinking he sees these mega churches and sees them flying on private jets. And he's like, okay, well, I can do that. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to be a pastor. And then when they were passing that collection plate and it was a little bit more jingle than jangle, he was like, no, I can't do it no more. I'm not going to be able to be bothered. I mean, I love the Lord. Yes, I do. But I'm not going to be able to be bothered. I'm going to have to pack up the pulpit and keep it moving. And that's exactly what he did. And that's trifling. I just want to make sure that I put that out there. You shouldn't even say that on national TV. Like, y'all just be saying anything. Like, take a little break and think about what you're going to say. Be like, okay, I ain't going to say no. I mean, I used to be a pastor and things didn't work out. Don't be talking about, I used to be a pastor, but I wasn't making no money, so I decided against it. Then he tells us how he was homeless and he was living in his rental car. And then basically he got it out the mud. And now his bank account has several zeros in it. He's been engaged before twice. And he just ended a relationship 3 months before this whole situation. And I'm thinking, boy, if you just ended an engagement 3 months ago, she not even done playing on your phone yet. Okay, we still be playing on your phone, calling, hanging up, and, calling. I mean, I can't believe you would. She's still stalking your Instagram. She still probably go to your mama house. Like, this is not done yet. You should have completely closed. I'm going to need you. This is the thing. You ain't really ready until the relationship has been over a minimum of 6 months. Now, y'all don't come for me in these comments talking about not 6 months. I said a minimum, okay? Like half a year, maybe she done playing on your phone. Maybe y'all done hooking up sporadically because, you start missing her one night and then you call her, or she start missing you, or you see her post a picture on Instagram and she look good, so now you want to call. Make sure all of that is done. And he seemed real childish like, so I'm sure, he kind of seemed unstable. So I just think that he's rushing into this, and oh my gosh, he's sitting down with his family and he's talking to them. And he's telling them that he's been matched up and that he's going to be married in 2 weeks. And then his grandmother said that she got married to his grandfather at 16. I'm like, okay, that's that old school love, honey. That's that love where, they be dancing at the family reunion, honey. He barely got his hand on her waist, child, and they going from side to side. Y'all know how they be dancing. But she said that she got married at 16 to the grandfather, and that if they would have tried to put him in a box, then he wouldn't be where he is today. So she totally supports the fact that he wants to get married in 2 weeks. Everybody was really supportive of him, which brings me to Haley. Haley and Jacob are our next couple. Haley is 28. She's a sales rep, and she's been a bridesmaid 14 times. The girl say, what now? Child, I don't even know 14 girls. Okay, I might know them, but they ain't about to ask me to be in their wedding. Cause first of all, they know they know I ain't got no sense. They know I'm not gonna act right. Okay, I'm gonna act right. I'm gonna put your dress on. I'm gonna put them shoes on. I'm gonna do everything you ask me to do. But at the same time, I play too much. So don't nobody want that at their wedding. They want serious. I play too much. I play all day. Okay. So she said she's been a bridesmaid 14 times, and okay. But the thing that I didn't like about her scene is the fact that her friends were not very supportive. Like, I understand y'all are kind of scared for her because this is like the unknown. So she's just rushing into something, not even knowing the guy, never have even been on a date with him, hasn't met him before. But at the same time, you got to kind of show your support because this is a grown woman at the end of the day, and she's going to do what she wants to do. And the most outspoken friend of them all was her friend Lauren. The one with the tiny nostrils, the bad nose job. Girl, you are giving me very much Pinocchio before it started growing and whatnot. So please stop worrying about if this girl gonna be okay, and stop being so ugly about it. Figuratively and literally. Okay, then we have Jacob, who's 38, but he looks 68 in the face. Okay, child, I don't even remember what Jacob did. All I know is he's 38 and he says that he's a nerd and a homebody. Boring. Okay, Haley and Jacob, I forgot about them as the episode was progressing. They were on my screen and I still was forgetting. I'm like, what did they put them two on? I mean, I just feel like they're going to be the boring couple. There's a formula to these reality shows, and there's always a person who gets lost in the sauce. You're watching the episodes and then you forget randomly that this person is there. And that to me is Haley and Jacob. It may be a good thing because the two of them in their boredness, they may get together and read a book or two. And, if she can just keep those friends away, they might make it. All right. Now we're introduced to Clara and Ryan. Clara is 27 and she's a flight attendant. Why didn't they put Clara with Erik? Don't you think it would make more sense? Because, see, Clara would know Erik's lifestyle and she would understand what it means to be a pilot. So she wouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, he's a pilot, he's never around, because she knows what that life is like. But anyway, she's with Ryan. Clara is 27. She's very social. Now she has the right kind of friends. I'm going to need Haley's friends to take notes because they were very supportive of her. They weren't telling her, oh my God, I can't believe that you're going to do this. They were just listening to what she had to say, and they were supporting her decision. And that's the way that it should be done. I didn't get much from Clara besides the fact that she's a pretty girl and that she was a flight attendant. And she said that people tried to hit on her on the plane, but either they were F-boys or they were her grandfather. Okay, so she didn't want any parts of that. Then we see Ryan, who's 29. And Ryan is cute, but I just wish he would change that hair. Like, the whole time I was watching him, I was just thinking, if I could just touch that head and get some scissors and just cut that little landing strip. Oh, they paired them together because Clara was a flight attendant and his hair looks like a landing strip. That's what see, now y'all think, if I just look at it long enough, I can figure things out. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But Ryan is very, very cute. His face is all to the handsome. I just need him to get that hair together. And then they flash back on some pictures of him from the past when he was with his family. And he was so cute. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just wish you would do something a little different with your hair. He looks super good when he has his hats on. But when he take that hat off, he looks like them boys that used to be on MTV's The Challenge. Y'all remember that those shows that used to come on? With CT and all of them acting a fool and climbing through mud and all of that. Child, I guess that was back in the day when MTV was popping. But anyway, so Ryan says he grew up very conservative, and I like the fact that there's going to be an interracial relationship so that we can see both sides of the spectrum. And when he said that he's never been in love, he gave me Anthony from Ready to Love, this current season, Ready to Love Last Resort from Houston. And I'm just he said he's never even said the word love. Okay, so y'all tell me, do y'all respect that or do you think that's weird? Me, I respect that because when I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to be the first person to say I love. I have to really mean it to say it. So out of every relationship that I've ever been in, I've never been the first person to say I love you because I just feel like once you say that, it ain't no going back. And people start getting extra attached when you attach yourself to the word love. And he even said that he feels like that's a very serious word and it's attached to serious feelings. So you have to really be ready for something like that. So I respected that. And you guys can let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. But Ryan and Clara are going to be a couple and we're going to see how it all works out. Then we go to a scene where all the men meet and all the women meet. And the women are all introducing themselves and, getting to know one another. And then the men are meeting and getting to know each other as well. And here come Chris, child, because he wants some camera time. Chris hasn't even been there 5 minutes and he starts asking them, so what do y'all want out of a marriage or why do y'all want to get married? And everybody I'm like, they all want to get married because they're ready to get married. Like, what are you talking about? They've already been interviewed. And ain't no sense in you interviewing them secondly. Like, what are you talking about? So then Chris calls Jacob old. 38 is old? Okay, so you calling me old? Don't play. Chris, don't play. So Chris, he's talking about how Jacob is old. Jacob kind of took offense to it, but Jacob, you ain't gonna do. No, I'm just kidding. So, they're talking amongst each other. And Chris is a guy who moves fast. I could just tell because he was going down the timeline of when he got engaged to this last girl that he just broke up with 3 months ago. And he was saying, August, I got her phone number. August 2nd, I called her. August 3rd, I was like, hey. And August 4th, I was like, will you marry me? And then August 5th, I was like, nah, I'm good. And I'm just like, what? Those are not the real dates. But I mean, this is what I was hearing. Okay, I process things a little differently. So, I'm listening to him and he's going down this timeline and it's extremely fast the way he moves. So this process is exactly right for him, for somebody like him, because he moves pretty fast without even thinking. And he seems a little bit immature. I understand he wants to get married, but exactly why? And then he was like, I want my wife to be submissive and I want her to be a freak. Boy, did you know anything that happened in the Bible? Like, where you got your doctrine to become a pastor from? Like, what it was like, were they passing out at Walmart or what was going on? Because I mean, some of the things you say are so contradictory. Not a submissive freak. I mean, I know with your husband, you're supposed to be able to do whatever it is that you do in your marital bed. But it's like, he just, ugh, okay. So then he sits down with this pastor and he's talking about it's tough being fresh out of a relationship. And that's the thing that scares him. And the pastor gives him some sound advice and lets him know that you need to close that door first before you can go and try to, make something else, give something else a chance. Before you start that, you need to close that other door. And I thought that was really sound advice, but that should have been common sense. But I guess common sense is not so common. All right, the girls get together again, and Clara decides that she's going to be passing out gifts. Clara's a talker too. Because every time they get together, Clara started asking questions like she's the orator. Like Lifetime told her, okay, you get the scene going. Clara, when we get together, you are to pass out the lingerie. Okay, Clara, next time we get together. Like, girl, So Clara got with the girls again. Clara passed each one of them out some lingerie, and that prompted them to start talking about, so Virginia asked, would you prefer your man to not be a drinker or to be a virgin? And y'all comment down below and tell me which would you prefer. I would personally prefer for my man, I don't drink really. I mean, I don't drink alcohol. I mean, I'm just naturally high on life. I'm just not a big drinker. I have had a drink. I have occasionally had a drink, but I'm not a drinker. I'm not the person that goes in there and is ready to go to the bar. Girl, where the drinks at? That's not me. So a lot of them were saying I would not like it if he didn't drink, because a lot of people like to drink socially, but they don't like to drink alone. So that would probably be a turnoff. I personally don't want to teach you nothing in the bed. So you being a virgin probably wouldn't work for me. Because if you ain't never had nothing and then I give you your first taste and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh, this is good. Then you try to go find other tastes because now you done got a taste. I just feel like no. I don't have time to be trying to coach you through nothing and tell you where to touch and where to go. I'm going to need you to already know how to get the engine running, okay? So that would have been a no for me. I would prefer for you to know exactly what you are doing. Then they started talking about, sex, and then Paige. Oh, baby, her and Chris gonna make the perfect couple. Both of them are embarrassing, okay? They're embarrassing. Anything comes out of their mouth. Because Paige starts talking about, before that, she said that her man needs to have his papers. And I'm like, his papers? Okay. And she's saying that he needs to have STD tested. I understand that. Okay. You are in Atlanta. You're going to need to have those papers. But then all of a sudden she's like, because I don't like to use condoms. Girl, not you in Hotlanta without the condoms. Girl, what are you talking about? You need to go to Google and put in HIV stats. Okay. Don't even worry about the city or the state that you live in. Just put that in. Girl, what are you talking about? I don't care if they take a test or not. You need to be protecting yourself, because they could go get that test and now this test is negative. No, there's no detection of HIV or syphilis or gonorrhea or whatever, and then go bust it wide open with somebody else. And now the disease is passed on to you because they gave you a piece of paper that you can probably get a template. You can get a template for anything off Google. Please don't do that. I'm going to need you to put a condom on. You talking about you love the Lord and you love God. You should know that your body is a temple. I'm going to need you to wrap it up. Okay. Y'all were sending all kinds of wrong messages up and through. And then she's just bust out and said, and then my friend was asking me in the car the other day, would you eat his butt? And I was like, no, but he can eat mine. And I'm like, girl, what are you saying? Oh, child, from the bad wig to the bad etiquette. Like, what are you talking about? Don't say that. Is so embarrassing. You know what I always think of? If I were on a show, would I say these things and my mama would be looking at it? Because I would be thinking, Lord, if my mama seen this, what would she think? Child, they don't care. Paige saying whatever, Chris saying whatever, and she might just be the freak he's looking for. Did the scientists know she was a freak? Because, yeah, okay. So that could potentially make them a match made in heaven. Then we see the guys go out and the girls, and now it's dress and tuck shopping time. And all these guys got these navy blue suits or a hue of blue. And, okay. Vincent cleans up nice. I'm not going to even say nothing ugly because, I mean, everyone's style is different. That's your style. That's your style. So Vincent, he cleans up nice. He put on his suit and he looked really nice. Then Chris came in with these Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz ruby slippers, and I was ready for him to click his heels 3 times and get the hell off my screen because he was getting on my nerves. Okay, so he came in with his flashy shoes and tried on his suit, and everybody was telling him how clean he looks. And Chris is not all there in the face. His facial features aren't the most handsome, but I mean, I guess he's gonna overcompensate with that shiny suit. All right. So after that, the girls, they flash over to the girls and they're choosing their wedding dresses. And then everybody picks out what it is that they like or what they think would make a great impression on their soon-to-be husband and or wife. And now we're at the bachelor and bachelorette parties. Okay, so the guys are just like standing in the... I mean, this is the thing. The guys are standing in the center of the room and they're talking amongst each other, but not Jacob, honey. Jacob done found his way over there to the big booty stripper because, you know, ATL known for the thick girls that shake it, okay? So he over there talking to the stripper and telling her, she's like, well, you know, would you like it if I was your wife to be? And he was like, yeah, I would like that. And I'm like, okay, you a little bit too drunk. I'm gonna need you to reel it back in like you losing your mind. You over there looking at, talking about she look real good and you trying to get a piece of that. Your mic is on, okay? The mic is hot. The mic's still hot. They can still hear you. You're not invisible. So I'm going to need you to, and it was like these men were very aware of the camera because at one point he was like, well, let me get from over there because they're going to watch this and she's going to know that I said that. And then here comes, they were saying that Erik was late. And they're like, it's very disrespectful. How is it disrespectful if he coming late to his own bachelorette party? He ain't got nothing to do with you. He ain't marrying you. Like, y'all too catty to be men on this season, or is it just me? The men from last season, they all got along quite well, but it's like y'all just fussing and arguing amongst each other for no reason. Let the man be late. Y'all don't halfway like him anyway. So then Chris gets there. He comes in trying to get attention with this blow-up doll looking crazy, and so everybody starts coming around dancing with the blow-up doll, and Eric's like, oh my God, no, I'm not going anywhere near a doll. I hope my wife-to-be is being conservative. And then they pan over and you see Virginia dropping it low and picking it up slow, honey. You definitely ain't got no conservative wife-to-be. I'm just going to tell you that now. Okay? And now that I think about it, because she has daddy issues, you know, and you're like a father figure in some sick, twisted way that makes you guys a match. That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like she's going to try to bring out the fun side in you, and you are going to have to try to reel her in. So maybe scientifically you guys belong together, but I don't think that's going to work because she seemed a little bit, I don't know. It just don't seem like it's going to work, but we'll see. So then we go over to the ladies' bachelorette party, and Virginia and Clara were talking. And so Virginia was like, I hope he's not bald, you know, because my dad is bald. And I mean, I just don't like bald men. And they all thought that was like, oh my gosh, you don't like bald men? And so Clara was saying, she hopes that she's like, well, I don't mind bald, but I don't want it to be receding. And then you have that little patch. And I'm like, oh, you got a patch. It's not receding, but it's a voluntary patch that Ryan has at the top of his head. So, I mean, I don't know what you're going to think when you first see him, but he got that hat there, and I thought that was funny. I'm like, aha, girl, we shall see. But after that, I realized that that's when I realized that Clara talked a lot. Because I'm like, you're always trying to have a round table discussion. Because she got all the girls together, and she started asking them yet another round of questions, and they were ready to answer. And I'm just like, okay. And I was kind of wondering, like, why are we only seeing them in these settings until we get to the actual wedding day and everybody is getting to the venue? And I see Clara's makeup being done, but her makeup artist is wearing a shield and a mask. And then it dawned on me that they were shooting during the pandemic. And I'm like, I know y'all can lie. Y'all better have been shooting at Tyler Perry Studios, because y'all ain't had a mask on at all ever through this whole episode. So I'm hoping that y'all have been in one big bubble and tested daily, because y'all are just out here just so free. I guess Lifetime said, y'all ain't finna mess our seasons up with no mask and whatnot. But they did have masks. So there was one request from Ryan is that they wear masks. I guess Lifetime was like, y'all have to wear masks. And he was confused as to what kind of mask. And they had the mask over the eyes. So they had a bride and a groom mask on. And Clara is upset because, and I kind of already knew, and I'm not trying to be rude or ugly. I love everybody. But I already knew when I seen that black girl doing her makeup, I'm like, child, she ain't gonna like that makeup. Because it's just something about a black makeup artist. They mesh well with a black canvas. You know what I'm saying? Not a blank canvas, a black canvas. I did say that correctly. And I just feel like, I knew she wasn't going to like it. And she started complaining. My hair is not, I just don't feel like me. I don't like my hair. I don't like my makeup. My dress is too short. And I just don't like it. And I know she wanted to make a good impression. And you can have all kinds of anxiety on your wedding day. I definitely know from experience. And she just didn't like how she looked. And so then it's time to go down. She puts on this mask that said, her dad put on the bride mask for her. And he already had on his groom mask. One other thing that I took note of is last season when it was time for them to have their marriages, they actually greeted the prospective husband or wife's family. I just saw Ryan standing up there ready to go. He didn't speak to her family. He didn't say, hi, I'm Ryan. He didn't introduce himself or anything. I thought that was a better touch last season. So anyway, she comes down the aisle with her dad blindfolded. He's standing there blindfolded. The dad directs her down the aisle. He turns her toward Ryan and puts her hand in his, and then they take the mask off, and then the scene cuts. Okay. My thing is, I don't initially think she's going to like the way that Ryan looks. But that's just my opinion. I haven't seen any casting specials, any couple specials, or anything like that. I just don't think initially she's going to be attracted to him. So you guys tell me what you think. Do you think he's going to be initially attracted? I think he's going to be initially attracted to her. Yes, I do. But the other way around, no, I don't. And Chris, I hope we don't have to hear all season about you having money now. Okay, boy, you got it out the mud. We got it, okay? Don't nobody want to hear that. Virginia, I hope you can clean it up just a tad bit because Erik look like he going to be scared of that. All that you bring, he going to be kind of scared. Paige, you're going to be fine with Chris. Hopefully, he can help you secure some new wigs. Haley and Jacob, hopefully I can remember you're on my screen. And Brianna and Vincent, I think you guys could really be like the Amani and Woody of this season. I got to see how your chemistry flows, and we will take it from there. But that pretty much wraps up my review for this episode of Married at First Sight. If I had to rate it because it was so long and I was falling asleep, I'm a gone rated a 7.5. It probably could have gotten 8 if it was only 2 hours or maybe 1.5. Like, they trying to feed us everything all at once. And I was already full. Okay? So I hope you guys will join me next week when I review this. And I'm also reviewing The Bell Collective, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Ready to Love. And I'm going to start doing some story times. Guys, check out my other videos. When you click off of this one, click on the other one. They are entertaining, if I do say so myself. Guys, thank you. And as always, I hope you like, subscribe, and comment down below. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.